finals. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, go on. City council there. I don't know. All right, 6:30. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have personal appearances today. Personal appearances? No, all right, let's move on to the meeting minutes from the 15th of December. Commissioners have had a chance to look at it. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve minutes from December 15th board meeting.
Second. Second with Commissioner Houghton. Any discussion? Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Bills for $514,355 and 2 pennies.
Move to approve.
Thanks, Commissioner. And Schmidt. Any discussion? Discussion? Ellie?
Schmidt,
Yes.
Houghton,
Yes.
Emery,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes.
Sorry, 3 out there.
Easy did. Salaries for $433,895 and 42 cents.
Make a motion to pay the salaries?
Second.
Emery, discussion? Discussion? Ellie?
Try that again. Houghton,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Emery,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. Financials, Callan, not here.
Not here. I do have a couple
Anything to talk about?
of, year end looked really good. We're not quite finished yet, but we're just about finished. The departments looked really good. Revenue looked good. So I think we have ended up, in good shape financially at the end of the year. The recommendation from our auditor we've had for the last 2 times was for us to look at, and specifically last time was to look at new software. We're in the process of doing that. We've actually found a software that's being used by the Fargo Park District that may end up being a wash on the cost. We're paying right now for QuickBooks direct deposit, and with this software and a new timekeeping system, we wouldn't have to pay for the direct deposit. It would be just part of the bill, so it ends up being a net zero for the cost of the new software, depending on which way we go. So it's not something that we really need to bring before you guys, because it's not going to be a huge cost, and it may actually be a net zero. But we're working on that. We're looking at timekeeping systems right now, and just an online system that will match up with the software. So maybe in the next month or 2, we'll make a decision and start implementing it and start kind of building the system. So we'll have that solved. Other than that, I think things are going well. We're starting out for New Year's.
Thanks, Ron. Let's go to department reports. Jerry.
Park Board President, Commissioners, I don't have anything to add to my submitted report. Other than we did open bids this afternoon on the Search Valley Golf Course golf cart 4-year lease. So I did put that in front of you. We did have 2 companies submit bids. Both companies golf car meet or exceed specifications. MB Golf Cars out of Hendricks, Minnesota. That's Club Car Precedent. And then Yamaha out of Burnsville, Minnesota. Their Drive to Client. It has about 5 other words behind it. So just the Drive to for the ones that were submitted for a review. Very competitive. The Club Car came in at $24,776.40 annually for 44 cars. And Yamaha came in at $26,367.39 for 44 cars annual payment. So they are under the budgeted amount. And, we feel that we would recommend to go with NB Golf Cars out of Hendricks, Minnesota for a club car.
Great, answer the question this time. Questions or motion to do that?
Make a motion that we accept the bid from NB Golf Cars as recommended. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions, I guess, for Jared?
Good number. Good bid.
It's good.
And that's a very good price. It's sometimes considered the best golf cart. Well, that's a good price considering it's 26 grand a year, 24 grand a year, and I think we take in $100,000, give or take. And-
This year, we did roughly take in $100,000 on those
And-
cars.
And also as a result of that, and Ryan, correctly, I don't think we need as much mechanical cost
Correct.
and
That's been working out really well.
no trouble. So
Oil, basically, we do oil changes annually, and if there's anything else, they typically come out here. I mean, 4-year warranty on everything throughout the life of the lease, so
that's a very good deal.
4 years is about the right amount of time.
Our customers are happy. Not having to tow them back to the clubhouse or anything like that. Which was happening a long time ago.
Can we get rid of that one?
Just, haven't learned that part yet.
Any other questions? Maybe speed of play would increase, just think about it. I guess Ellie, call it home.
Hovden,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Emery,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Thank you, and I'll answer any questions in my report or try to answer any department head questions either. Nobody had anything else to submit verbally in what they put in their reports.
Anyone have? Commissioner?
I'm just curious what the restitution information for the city attorney is.
We had somebody one afternoon driving under the influence, decided to take out part of our fence in Southfield Complex at about 1:30 in the afternoon. So it was the main gate into the west end. So just to the east of that, they took out a couple posts, bent the fence, so still got the paperwork done, we'll submit that to the city attorney, and we'll try to collect on $1,000
I thought we were having,
bill over X amount of years.
I thought we were having to pay the city attorney for something.
No, we hopefully will get some funds back. It might take a while, but we'll get it submitted at the court date.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but a comment that maybe as Director of Operations, you can pass this on to your staff. I walk every day at Oak Park. It's been really nice the last 2 or 3 times. Well, first time, Thursday we got the trees and stuff all over. I went out as soon as I could, I think it was the next day. The paths were brushed off, the trails were good. They had all cleaned the branches off the path. I walked again yesterday and today, and after the snow, same thing. And they've taken some of the big trees out. So just pass on to your staff. I'm sure that park-wide, it's a huge job to do that, but it certainly, it gets the public out there just as soon as possible. And there's safe conditions. You couldn't have walked that if you had snow on it, because there's ice under numerous patches out there. So just pass that along. Good job.
Definitely will. They really got after it again after the big wind on Thursday, Wednesday into Thursday. So they've been busy, and they'll still be cleaning the branches for quite some time. But
A lot of work.
they've done a very good job.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say they're excited to get on the snow removal equipment today, but it's realistically the second time this year they've actually had a brush down, so, but I will pass that on.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks. Ellie, do you want to talk at all? Or?
I don't have a lot to add to your report, just excited to begin a new year and hopefully have a more normal year as we plan for our summer brochure for this year.
I saw the advertising for the, I don't think we're gonna have board meeting before that, but you're doing another walk.
We are, we're gonna try and do a luminary walk, so pretty similar to the Pelican Walk, just because I'm going off the success of that. And I think seeing the need that some people are more comfortable with outdoor events, so we are gonna do that February 13th. People can buy 3 luminaries for $5. They take them home, they decorate them, have them back to our office by that date, and we'll set them out there. Hopefully, that won't be one of those 20 below days, and get people out and enjoy the trail again.
Questions for Ellen? Scott, you have anything?
I don't have anything to add to the report, no.
Questions for Scott since he's here? All right, let's go to new business. Update on 2021 projects. Greenlighted some, but kind of,
Yeah, so
we'll move on others.
kind of where we're at on the ones that were approved last month. The roadway and parking for the Children's Museum and the special assessment project that we're having the city take on for us. The petition was submitted to the city. I think they approved that one. And things are moving ahead. Our E&E firms we've got, they have put together a contract with the city and they're working with them now to get that together. Timeline is still the same for the construction on that. They've been working with the E&E firm that's working with Children's Museum and together with the one that's working on road infrastructure. So they're trying to get the timing right, but it looks like the construction, if good bids come, they'll start it spring and should have that whole project completed by fall, weather permitting. So that one looks good. Outdoor rec area, roadway and parking, that part has been separated out from the project and turned over to the city as well. That petition has been submitted to them. I don't know if they approved that one yet or if that's on their agenda maybe for tonight. We are also then, so KLJ is doing the E&E on that one, and we're also going to work with them to separate out the trail part of the project, and we're going to meet with them and get that going. And we have one approval left to gain, and that is from the township, Harrison Township, and that meeting has been off and on for the last couple of months. It's back on again, I think February 9th in the evening. So Keith and myself and our architect we're gonna attend that meeting and hopefully we gain approval from them. Everything else is set. We've got approvals from the county and from the city, and we're just waiting on this one. I think everything else is ready to go for that. We're not in as much of a hurry on that project. We bid it late spring and get moving on it this summer to get those going. Jared, maybe you want to give an update on the water slide because there's still ongoing work on that project.
Yeah, Park Board President, Commissioners. Yeah, they're really moving along still on the pump house. They've been doing, obviously, pretty much got the roof and all that done. So they've just been doing the interior stuff, all painting and trying to finish things out in there. I don't believe they've installed pumps yet, but that's just, they're still on track to have it ready to go. So in May, we can have everything fired up and get ready to go water sliding. But
Right.
there's activity there every day, so.
Right. Then the other projects we were looking at that we were talking about, for later on this year, Green Valley, Riverside. We have kind of the neighbors in Green Valley have one of them posted on Facebook for that. We're looking for ideas. So we've been getting a few calls and they've been trying to put ideas together for what they'd like to see done over there. Riverside, we've got our options that we want to look at. Maybe at next month's meeting, we can pull those out. We can take a look because obviously the highest priced one is probably the one that we'd like to do. Let's see if everybody is agreeable to that or not. But we want to get something at least looked at and decided for that project, and whether we move ahead right now or not. We want to make a decision on that. We're not dragging our feet, but we're not in as big of a rush on those. They're not huge projects. We can get those out later. We want to proceed with them and still get them done. You saw the golf simulator. We're working on the bids couple weeks.
February 11th,
Yeah,
2 p.m.
so we'll bring a bid back to you guys in February on that, and then they're working on archery downstairs, so kind of working on some fun uses for some of the rooms in here, more recreation related instead of meeting related, so that's been fun. Boardroom, they've been having trouble getting the items that they ordered, so it looks like this week the projector should come in and they should be able to get in here and finish it up. They've got the other TVs are hooked up, cameras are up. We're just waiting for the projector over there and then they can get everything tied together. So we should get that finished up. Then on another note with the city, they're going through their zoning ordinances right now. We sit on the DRT committee and the park dedication ordinance is part of that. So we will be having some discussions with the city to try and update that and try and make it a little more favorable to help us out, in the areas where the developers are developing so that you don't have to pay for the projects all out of our budget. It's supposed to be borne by developers or, at least in the neighborhood where they're developing. So we're gonna try and work with them as they go through that. And, give them suggestions. We'll do some research from other cities in our state, see how they're doing it. Go from there. So that's kind of an update for the projects. We don't have anything before you other than the one item that's on our agenda. We'll just after this one, if you want to talk about that, I'd sure be happy to.
Any questions? I have a question. The land by Mesa, not that we bought, but that we want to do work on, the EPA stuff. Do we know where that stands? Jason, right, with the city that was in contact with someone in Denver and then that went away, right? I know in the past we talked about trying to get something done. If we don't, maybe we just move forward. And maybe there are parts of that we can kind of do if we can get the city to kind of give the green light to us that we need first,
Yeah.
correct?
Correct. They have an ordinance that restricts, the use of that property. There's no public access to it right now. They would need to change that as part of this process. The Frisbee golf course, for example, most of that is on our land. And if it goes onto the city landfill land, it's not on the top of the Superfund cell itself. So it seems like maybe that part of the project, maybe we could gain permission to move ahead with regardless of the final EPA ruling.
I know we solicited letters, I remember, from, for sure the Frisbee golf folks put something to support, and then the bikers did, and prospector. I think almost we owe them some sort of an update almost just to what's happening and what we're trying to do. Because hopefully we have an early spring and maybe we can try and do some of the stuff that's not, like you said, that way. But we need the cities gotta go ahead first, right?
We'll touch base.
What is,
Right before Christmas, they hadn't received any communication from the EPA in about a month and a half. It just died again, so we're not sure where things are at. We can talk to Jason again, find out if he's had any better luck, but usually if he does have luck, he lets us know right away, so we haven't heard anything.
What is your opinion, maybe Pete can answer this too, is if we did go to the city council and say, change your ordinance for us, we'll proceed without the EPA. Do you think the city council would even go for that? Would they, would you, as you know, if you guys had any feelings, if you talk, would you think they would even entertain that at all, or not?
I don't know that I can really give a good answer on that because I don't know what agreements that the city entered into with the EPA. That likely is going to dictate, their flexibility or their willingness to change. But I'm gonna make a presumption, which is very dangerous. I'm agreeing, or I'm presuming that agreement likely sets forth some obligations on the city and some requirements and damages if they don't follow through. And I presume that, I'm presuming that that included that, you have to zone it and you have to close it off to all use and can't have access and so forth. And, you know, to get them to violate that agreement, you know, I would think that that could be a pretty tough sell.
Are there parts of it though that, like you talk about the frisbee golf, some of that would be
Some of that
doable
course.
without getting into trouble maybe?
Hey,
Or,
we could probably do a 9-hole course over there without even touching the state land.
I think going off the plan that we have right now, we would have the opportunity to put in a 9-hole course just to let people know that we are wanting to move forward on this as much as we possibly can. And maybe we've been working with Sean Weeks on this, maybe that's what we look at. I think we have a $9,000 line, because we got a grant for it, so we do have $9,000. We have more than that, but I mean, just for a frisbee golf course in our foundation. So, I mean, maybe that's something we can consider.
if that's the type of thing that could be done without getting into that stuff.
Right.
I mean, that does kind of show, well, it would show the EPA, it would show the congressional delegation, it would show the taxpayers that we're serious about trying to do something here and remove the roadblock and we can really go.
Or put a 9-hole would not, when they finish the other 9 holes, that would fit with this 9 holes. You're not changing this up to, you know what I'm saying?
No. I don't think we
You're not making a more expensive project by doing this, because you have to revamp when you put the final 9 in.
No, we can talk to Sean and have him pull the plan up. That was something that he had put together for us months already, so.
Yeah.
We can have him look at that again. Plan on trying to proceed with that much of it this summer. Keep working on our approval.
If we were to do something like that, would we, we're in January now, if we get the approval for us to go ahead and do the 9-hole, that's something you need to get going sooner than later to meet the deadline, or to get it ready for, would it be something that could get ready this year for use?
Yeah,
I believe so.
we started on planning it. We could probably start right away in spring, you know, first part of summer. Have it done for everybody.
We're talking about pretty cheap entertainment, right? I mean, it's not an expensive project.
To order the baskets.
You said we have the money for,
So there's 7.
It would just depend how elaborate you want to get with your, I call them greens, but, you know, tee box runs to your finishing where the holes are, you know, that's,
You can make it-
again, it just depends how elaborate you want to get with it, you know, or just,
I think we
so that's,
just mow it out. Minimal construction just to start with, so we don't have to give some.
I like, yeah, I mean, if that's something, like, I agree with that, if that's something to get the ball rolling, I'd entertain to make a motion that we move forward with a 9-hole disc golf course on the Mesa land, as soon as we can, start getting the plans ready for that. That'd be my motion.
Second. Further discussion. So just so I'm clear, can we do that without the approval, the change from the city?
As long as we keep it on our land that we own.
Okay. Just so I'm straight. And then we'll still obviously work on
Yes.
the bigger picture of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No proceeding, if we have to make some, you know, some holes that can be changed in the future, when we move on to the other site, we'll still make 9 holes, so we should have plenty of room there to do.
Okay. Kelly, you want to call it all?
Papa,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Emery,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. All right, any other comments on projects or questions? We've done number 2, so let's go to the RFQ for architect and engineering services, which we have in front of us.
Yes. Be ready to pass this out tomorrow, if you guys are okay with it. Just kind of made a general RFQ to talk about the project, the larger projects that were indoor recreation related. The field house, the fourth rink at the Mesa, which was, we do that, and we put church in one of the rinks. And also to look at the auditorium together with those two. So I mean, it would be a good opportunity for us to look at all of them together and pros and cons and which would be better to start with. And really take a good look at this building. We're starting to do a few things recreation related in here that weren't being done before. Do we want to keep going down that road, or do we want to look at different options? So this could go out and we could have a proposal back to the board at the February meeting to recommend for approval. And we could get started at least initially with the planning. We're missing, it's pretty wide open, but it would lead to eventually, if we decided to have one of those projects, the firm that gets this would then do more detailed estimating for us and work through the project.
Questions or comments? We're all right with it? Entertain a motion?
One other, I guess, I'd like to have one board member participate in helping us review, decide which one it would be. The four of us, and Jared, Scott, and myself, and a commissioner, it would be nice to help review. And we'll bring back a recommendation at the February board.
We do need a motion on the program.
I move that we proceed with the RFQ for architecture drink services for the facilities.
A motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Discussion? Ellie, you can call the roll.
Updike?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Emery?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes. Now to what Ron was saying, is there someone that would like to join the four of them?
What date are you looking at?
Well, I put the 5th in here, we can move it to the 8th. Well, that's 2 solid weeks for the firms, and we're gonna just, we'll hand deliver it to everybody tomorrow. That's here locally, and then we'll advertise it. So that should give everybody enough time to put it in. This is not a real elaborate proposal. I didn't put a timeline in here for completion or anything. I wanted to leave it open for us, once we start, to take that time on the plan work. We don't have I didn't put a 3-month deadline to complete the project or anything like that. Maybe it'll take us a year or 2, I don't know. I mean, we want to do it at our, at our discretion and move forward that way. So, but I'm thinking that probably the week. So if we got the proposals, delivered to us, say on the 8th, on that Monday, give us 2 or 3 days to review them, and then if we want to, ask for a couple of the firms to come in and do presentations, if we need to, we'd still have time to do that before the board meeting.
Be out of here?
I'm leaving town with 10.
All right. Any interest? I'll gladly do it, but you want to do it?
Sure, yeah, I can do it.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Excellent.
If we do presentations, we could probably schedule them all on the same page, or spread them out over 2 days, so make it easier.
Okay, number 4, update on economic impact study. It's underway right now.
It's underway and they're almost complete. They're kind of doing some finishing touches. And I sat through a review with them. They went through the whole thing, and we sat down. It was like a 4-hour-long presentation. They went through it in great detail, which that's not how the presentation is going to go at the board meeting next month. But they're doing a great job, and the numbers are very impressive. I can't wait for you guys to see it. So they are almost complete. They're just tidying some things up. They had some questions, but for the most part, they have everything completed. So they're going to easily be able to do a presentation at the February meeting. And it's amazing, and they did a really thorough job. I mean, they covered off everything that we could think of, so. So that's where they're at. They're on track, on schedule to present just like they promised, so that's good news.
Plan on seeing them next month. Number 5, or any questions, I guess, sorry. Any questions on them? No? You want to update on the zoo?
Yeah, well, so
Right now?
we've been advertising, we'll advertise till the end of this month, till next Friday. And we had a lot of applications turned in, and a group of admin staff, and then James Steckler from the Zoo Society are gonna do the reviews of the resumes, and then we'll hopefully set up interviews sometime in February. And I guess we'll see how that goes. You know, if we find one that we like and we're happy, then we'll go with that. We think an offer and get somebody here March or April at the latest. That's the goal. But so far we've had a lot of interest, so it looks good so far.
Questions on that?
Local interest at all?
Yeah, a little. Had a couple of times, 2 or 3 local applications, and then quite a bit from outside the area.
Number 6 is talking about rates. Is it something that we want to talk about, or do we want to, next month, we're going to look at more rate stuff? Or,
Yeah,
well, Connor's not here right now, I don't know if you want.
We asked department heads today at our department head meeting that for all of the departments that have rates to take a look at them and make a recommendation. And we would put that all together and bring it back to you guys next month if you wish. You have Steve's to look at, and that gives you plenty of time to look it over, and we can talk about it next month if you wish. Be good timing for us. So we'll have all of them then.
Okay, is everyone, we're okay with that if we push that to February? We'll have everyone here. All right. Takes care of new business. Is there any old business to discuss? All right, hearing none. Other business? Well,
No, maybe the old business would be the,
oh, yeah.
sorry about that.
Oh. Good, right, good. My bad.
I've handed out to everyone the amended and restated agreement between the Magic City Discovery Center and the Bank Park District. And this board has already approved this agreement, but when it went through the approval process with the Magic City Discovery Center, they approved with one paragraph being cut from the agreement, that being paragraph 14. And if you recall, we had a discussion about indemnification, and my recommendation that, there be a provision cut where we had to indemnify anybody. And they are asking that they not be required to indemnify the city. Well, the city isn't even a part of this agreement. It's only an agreement between the two of us. I kept it in there because it was part of the old agreement. I see no harm in cutting that whatsoever. When you first approved this agreement, we knew that we were the first board that would be looking at and approving this document. It was possible that there was going to be a change here or there. And this is the sole change that has been made to date. So I see no problem with the change that has been recommended by the Magic City Discovery Center, and I think it's acceptable for us to approve this agreement with paragraph 14 cut in its entirety. So if anyone has any questions.
Any questions? If not, for a motion? Either way.
So I think the motion would be to approve it and to authorize you to be able to execute the agreement on behalf of the Park District, as well as execute the ground lease when they have been put in final form. And they have approved the ground lease as written, but again, we want to be signing the identical agreement. We don't know if they've signed an agreement. If they haven't, we'll sign first, and they'll sign second. If they've already signed, then I'll get that agreement for your signature.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Sorry.
I saw Ellie over there, right? So, yeah. We have a motion to that. Do we have a second? Now we have a second. Discussion or questions?
So Keith, does this mean, since the city is really a third party, that if there were to be the Children's Museum doing this, they'd have to agree with the city on that, and we're really not involved in that part?
Well, and I apologize, Commissioner, the provision at one time was inputted when there was kind of a group think, and it has to do with the funding that was received through the Magic Fund. And that really isn't a part of this agreement. So there is that funding agreement between the Magic City Discovery Center and the city. That's where it should be. So, and I believe that's where it is. This was kind of I think a holdover when we were doing a group meeting with the city and the Discovery Center and us, and there was a suggestion that this be in there, and it didn't affect us, so it was sure to put it in there, but now their board says, no, we're not gonna do that.
Makes sense, I think.
Yeah,
Take it out.
well, from their standpoint, it most definitely does, and from our standpoint, it makes no difference whatsoever. We're not even a part of that paragraph.
Okay.
The key is you're comfortable with it.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Sorry, I sat down too soon. Any other questions?
All right, I think we're good. Ellie?
Lambda,
Yeah,
Schmidt,
Yes.
Emery,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. All right, no permits to talk about, so let's go to Ron. Have anything to talk about?
We don't have anything else. I think we covered everything already in other parts of the meeting. So.
Okay. Let's go to Commissioner's report. Start with Commissioner Elda.
I don't have anything.
Nothing.
We do have a liaison committee meeting next week, and last time we had the meeting, the conversation came on Ramstead property. So I guess that's probably gonna, well, yeah, it'll be brought up, I'm sure. I'll probably bring it up at this meeting to see if our representative schools have bothered to discuss anything, to get any directions to what they're wanting to do. That's it.
I don't have anything to add. So with that, entertain a motion to close the park board meeting.
Move to close the park board meeting.
Second and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So let's go right to the foundation meeting. Personal appearances. About the minutes. We're back on the 15th.
Move to approve the minutes of December 15th, Park Foundation.
Motion? Second. And a second. Discussion? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go to the bills. It looks like we've got two of them, a bench and then the payments per fluster totaling $16,753.19. That's nothing to add to that, right? We're good?
The Mesa? Yeah, no, I
The
have
zoo
no.
bench and the, yeah.
Yep, okay, I have nothing to add to your bills.
Okay.
This month.
It's early.
So they're good bills.
We have a motion by Commissioner Emery
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Hubda. Discussion?
And that is just a pass-through payment for the, this, correct?
That is correct. We will be getting Tom will be dropping off a check for about $90,000 tomorrow to put back into our, the base select for dispatch.
All right, any other questions? Ellie, you want to call the roll?
Hubda,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Emery,
Yes.
Olson.
Yes. We'll go to the statement, which all that sent to us. Are there any questions on that? Come your way. All right, any new business? Or other business? Then we could look to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thanks, guys.